The Hustle Share podcast is sponsored by One CFO, the Philippines' leading fractional CFO services provider for startups, scale-ups, and SMEs. Experience the power of tech-enabled, efficient, affordable, and expert-led fractional CFO services. Let One CFO handle your finances so you can focus on growing your business. Book your free CFO consultation today.
This episode of Hustle Share is brought to you by PLDT Enterprise, your partner that remains committed to your success. If you're loving stories of growth and grit, don't miss ROI to Success, a series powered by PLDT Enterprise that dives into real digital transformation journeys of Filipino businesses, from MSMEs to industry giants. Listen to the latest episodes and learn how PLDT Enterprise can power your business too. Visit pldtenterprise.com to explore solutions built for your success.
Nag-start kami ng company, dalawa lang kami. Okay. And then eventually, kailangan magdagdag. So naging 3, naging 4. So natapos na isang taon, natapos ang project. Paano na?
Welcome to Hustle Share, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Baetiong.
Welcome to the latest episode of the Share Podcast. I'm super excited because it's another episode of our edition with PLDT Enterprises, ROI to Success. And again, super big shout out to PLDT Enterprise for helping us really reach a wider net of startup entrepreneurs. Actually, not just startup entrepreneurs that are tech-driven around the world. Because obviously, sometimes people mistake na, hey, this podcast is just all about tech startups. Yes and no, because obviously that's where my immediate network. But entrepreneurship is a universal language, and every single entrepreneur, I don't know what type of stuff you sell or what type of stuff you do, will have to go through a very, very similar process as an entrepreneur. So again, very, very excited because we have a solid founder and entrepreneur who's into tech, into development programming as a start. And I always like it when we geek out with things like this. So again, without further ado, let's welcome to the show the co-founder and CEO of Northeast Business Solutions Incorporated, also known as NBS. Not National Bookstore, ha? Northeast Business Solutions. Let's welcome to the show the co-founder and CEO, Mr. Michael Santamaria. Welcome to the show, Mike. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Now, again, super duper excited. Before we started recording, I said, man, I used to have a dev shop and I can relate 1,000% with you. And I know how hard it is, but I love your story because you did this not in Manila. You're literally in the outskirts, greater Manila area, and you were able to make a killing. But before I get carried away. I need to ask you the $1 million question. Michael, what's your hustle?
I'm a software developer by passion. Okay, yun talaga yung gusto kong gawin. Kahit ngayon, minsan nagpa-participate pa rin ako sa team when it comes to software development, consultation, nagbibigay ako sa kanila ng mga coaching and advice.
Coding is life. There you go. I have so many friends that are devs, and I have nothing but respect because what people don't understand is that the whole tech startup ecosystem, the whole world as we know it now, revolves on software, right? I don't know anything vital that we use now that does not have any code in it, right? The reason why we live the world in the world that we live in now because of the automation and the technology, whether it's low code, there's even this thing called vibe code now, that you do. Everything revolves around software. And again, had nothing but respect for software engineers who has turned into founders and become entrepreneurs. But before I get carried away, Mike, I'll pick you up near Marilao exit because that's the only one that I know. Real quick, because we have to go all the way back and talk about your origin story before you became the founder and CEO of NBS. Because we're gonna have to ride the Hustle Share time machine. All right. And that's our cue for then understand your origin story. So a lot of devs that I've had on the show before, turned entrepreneurs, turned founders, had a very, very profound love for technology. And that's what I will start off. Where did you first get in love or fall in love with tech and software development in your journey? And what was the first few hustles that you remember doing?
Okay, it first started when I'm in Adamson University. Okay.
Falcons.
I was student assistant there.
Okay.
So itong boss ko, ang dami pinapagawa sa akin sa Excel file. So ako, ayoko ng mano-mano lahat-lahat. 1,000 records, iisa-isahin ko yan. So,
wow.
Gamit yung Excel file talaga, literally, gumawa ako ng program. And I think hanggang ngayon ginagamit nila. So that was more than 20 years ago.
Wow. So how did you learn how to code? Because first of all, I didn't even know that you can code using Excel file. Okay. How did you learn how to code? Because you can't just automate something if you don't have foundational skills there, diba? How did you learn how to code? Especially from 20 years ago, learning how to code now versus learning how to code before is a totally different ballgame.
Yes. So, yung basic programming, so gamit pa namin before sa Adamson ay Turbo Pascal. As in talagang yung command base. Okay, makita mo lang black screen and then type ka lang. Basta pag-compile mo, error. Tapos di mo na alam kung anong gagawin mo. So talagang tiyaga talaga. So from there, I combined it with yung sa Microsoft Excel. So na-automate ko yung nire-require sa akin ng aking boss that time.
Did you do extra work? Because again, most devs that I also do, because majority of the time, here's what the reality of being a programmer, developer, whatever you want to call yourself. If you're going to learn dev or programming by the book, you will never learn what you need to do to solve problems. Because programming is problem solving and engineering by default.
Yes.
And you need to constantly learn and unlearn and relearn new things as you do that. How did that start with you? Because again, you already said the type of technology we use, Pascal and all that. Pero did that start earlier in life with you? Did you tinker around? And how did you really teach yourself the new technology in the last 20 years that still made you relevant to what it is now?
Actually, wala talagang hindi ko talaga alam na magiging programmer ako yung sa ngayon. Even nung ako ay nag-aaral kasi pinanganak ako sa Norsagaray. Ang parents ko magsasaka, wala kaming computer. Okay, nag-aral ako sa public school. Nakagraduate ako ng high school, hindi talaga ako nakahawak ng computer. Wala pa rin cellphone that time. Okay? And then, nung nasa Adamson na ako, so ang tinake ko na course, thank you sa parents ko kahit na magsasaka.
Kinaya.
Talagang mahirap talaga, syempre, di ba? Kinaya na pag-aralin ako sa hindi lang basta school kundi isa sa mga top universities sa
UP school yan.
Yes, so kasi diyan daw maganda ang computer engineering. So my parents, sabi piliin ko raw kung saan pinakamaganda yung kurso na kukunin ko. So I chose Adamson University. I took computer engineering. Walang ganong programming eh. So hindi ko talaga ine-expect na magugustuhan ko itong programming. So during school, maybe ako yung isa sa marami naman kami, hindi lang naman ako. Isa ako sa mga top sa class ng programming. Well, basic lang naman yun, yung mga programming sa school. Pero yun yung nag-fuel sa akin. Parang yun ang kickstart para magustuhan ko, magkaroon ako ng passion sa programming. And then unang job ko is as programmer. Okay, so nagtrabaho ko for about, I think, 12 years. Okay. Kasi nag-graduate ako ng Adamson year 2022. So sobrang tagal na.
2022?
Okay. Yes. Sorry. Year 2002.
I was like, what? Are you a fresh grad? Ang galing 2002.
Sorry na time machine tayo doon. Okay.
Okay, no worries. So 2002, and you worked as a dev where?
Ang office namin that time sa Makati, eventually moved to Quezon City.
Okay.
Okay. Pwede ba akong magbanggit dito ng mga company names?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, let's give a shout out because every entrepreneur, Mike, and every guest that went through here, always give shout out to where they came from because you will never be ready to become an entrepreneur. We all need to have training, and whether it's a good experience, bad experience, that made us who we are now. So what if you don't mind, kindly share that experience and how did that help you progress in your programming career?
Yes, so yung unang job ay sa Makati, GMAC Incorporated. So POS provider naman sila.
POS.
Okay. So malayo sa kung anong ginagawa namin ngayon. So and then eventually nung umalis na ako ng GMAC Incorporated, lumipat ako ng ibang company. Pero in good terms naman ako doon sa unang kong employer kahit nung umalis na ako. And then doon sa second company ko naman, nagtrabaho doon for about 9 years.
Wow.
3 years and 9 years. So that's 12 years. And then so that was 2014. So iniisip ko paano ba yung oras ko kasi ang hirap na tatrabaho ko araw-araw 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tapos taga Bulacan ako, nagbibiyahe ako araw-araw 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Grabe.
So alis ako ng Bulacan, pagluluto ako ng misis ko, alas 5, aalis ako ng ganyan, araw-araw yon. Pag uwi ko, alas 10 na, kasi traffic eh. Oo. Kaya umaabot ako doon sa point na pagdating ko ng bahay, sa sobrang pagod ko, sinusubuan ako ng misis ko, shout out sa aking misis.
There you go.
Ami, okay? Okay, so talagang full support. Okay,
yes.
Ang family ko sa akin. And then, sabi ko, paano ang gagawin ko na araw-araw ganito? Wala akong oras gaano sa family ko, wala akong oras sa sarili ko. So, yun yung time na mayroong konting ipon, nag-try ako, naglakas ng loob kami na mag-start ng business. Again, full support ang aking misis. Without kasi yung support ng family, mahirap eh.
No, you can't do it.
Okay. Yung ano pa lang, yung emotional side pa lang.
Correct.
Okay? Yung support, pagka wala yun, mahirap. Kahit sabihin mo meron kang maganda yung sinimulan mo. Okay. Kaya sinabi ko kanina maganda yung relationship ko dun sa aking unang employer. So sa ngayon, client ko siya. GMAC Incorporated. So kumuha sila ng payroll system sa amin.
Okay, that's the testament of keeping relationships, because what people don't understand sometimes is that entrepreneurship, as much as it's obviously value based, I'd say a vast majority of it's relationship building. And if you build a great reputation, people are not just believe with you on how good you are, but also built a great relationship, that trust that you build over time is timeless, right? That it will always come back. Because people, if you provide value and that you're someone that people can trust, money and business will always flow back to you. But I want to understand lang, because you mentioned you worked for a long time, couple years, and the GMAC, and then now 9 years, especially in the dev path, right? Everybody starts at a junior dev,
yes,
mid, senior dev, CTO level. I want to understand that growth that you had to go through, because I know a lot of my friends that have been through that. Some of them, there's two paths that I typically see. Now, okay, become junior dev, senior dev, but they don't ever want to jump to become an entrepreneur. They're okay now with CTO. They don't want to take the risk. And there's nothing wrong with that. These guys make a lot of money, make more money than the CEO, actually. Then some, like you, eventually make the jump. My first question, Muna, is that how did you evolve as a dev? Because again, languages change. I don't know if you started doing COBOL all the way to whatever language you started to do. How did you evolve? And what are the skills you accumulated as you evolved through every layer or level as a dev per se?
Okay, so nag-start na ako doon sa aking unang work sa GMAC as a junior programmer. And then after 3 years, ewan ko kung senior ako kasi hindi naman nabago yung ID ko. Okay. Pero doon sa next na pinagtrabahuhan ko, sa next work ko, which is Geonsoft Corporation.
Okay.
Okay. Senior na ako agad.
Ayan, it's on the ID na.
Yes, it's on the
Ayan.
ID. Okay, and then eventually after siguro mga 2 years, ganyan, nag-lead na ako ng team.
Okay, so what
Okay.
what were the skills you accumulated throughout the years? Because being a programmer at junior, to a
Oo.
dev lead, ibang-iba. What you have, actually, you don't code as much when you become a senior already, right?
Yes.
What was that like?
Oo. So, dun sa una kong ginamit, Delphi, actually pati sa pangalawang employer ko, Delphi yung gamit.
Wow.
Okay, which is, madalang nag-hire niyan ngayon kasi
Yeah.
in demand yan sa Europe eh.
Correct.
Oo.
There's a lot of
Okay.
PHP guys out here.
Tama.
Delphi, I don't even know at Delphi. You're the only dev that I know that uses Delphi.
Yeah. So, madalang talaga. Pero, kaya kung lilipat ka ng work, tapos Delphi yung skill set mo, ang alam mong programming language, makikita-kita rin kayo ng mga dati mong katrabaho.
Yes. And there's a lot of money because there's not a lot of supply and there's demand.
Yes. And then, ang gamit kong database nung una is ano pa lang, DBF pa lang. So ano ba yun? Microsoft Access ba yan? Ganyan. So medyo hindi ganun ka in demand yun.
Yeah.
Okay. Pero eventually SQL. So dyan ako talaga nahasa sa Microsoft SQL. Yung mga complex na coding, yung meron kami mga 10,000 lines, 20,000 lines, 100,000 lines, mga ganyan. Okay. And optimization ng SQL. So, talagang pinag-aralan namin yung optimization. Hindi pwede na 10 years of records ng client dahil tumatagal yung data ni client, dumadami, babagal yung system.
Yeah.
So, ang aking development style, yan din ang tinuturo ko sa team ko. Dapat kung ano yung speed ng day 1, okay, after 10 years, yan pa rin ang speed.
Tama. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not an excuse just because you accumulated that much data that all of a sudden your buffer and you're gonna have to bog down. But one last question before we talk about your jump to become an entrepreneur, because some people become devs, they're lifers as devs, and that's fine. I wish I'm like that too. They make a lot of money, by the way, and become entrepreneurs. One last thing is because I remember my best devs that I can really trust. And this is an anecdote, especially my second startup, Chatbot PH. We're the pioneer of that here in the Philippines. I started in 2016, sold it in 2017. So 1 year lang. So chamba.
Galing.
Chamba lang. All of it's chamba. Okay. So I remember my best devs wasn't the most tenured. I remember specifically, I'll give a shout out to him. His name is Bench, one of the best devs out there now. I had a CTO before, Fractional, and he says the best devs are not just the ones who can just understand the code needed to put life into solve the problem. It's matching the business case, the problem of the client,
yes,
turning it into a proper architecture, creating sprints, a plan, and executing the plan, and going all the way down to a scrum, then the ticket, so that every single front end or back end dev, even your DevOps can execute. Do you agree? What's your 2 cents on this?
I totally agree kasi yan yung I think medyo forte ko, no. Hindi ako lang yung nagpo-program, nagko-code. Iniintindi ko yung requirement ng client. And hindi ko lang siya basta iniintindi. Inaaral ko ding mabuti, ina-analyze ko kung paano siya i-integrate sa program na logical yung implementation. At talagang magagamit ni client pagka in-apply na namin, din-deploy na namin ng application, ng system.
Yes. And then by default, when you understand that, automatically you're a leader because you get it. You get what the client wants, right? Obviously, you need a PM para there's a buffer because when the dev talks to the client, good luck, kagulo yan. You need to temper the expectation of client and also buy time for your devs because no Gantt chart will ever be perfect. There's always gonna be a bug, right?
Yeah. At saka pagka ang dev kausap diretso ng client, medyo excited si dev eh.
Yeah.
Ginagawa na nila agad lahat.
And then they will overcommit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hackathon tayo. Good luck. 4 weeks straight hackathon, you don't even sleep anymore. It's crazy. Okay, last question before we take our first break. You mentioned again, you could have been a lifer. And a lot of devs are lifers. And to describe those people, if I had an advice, there's one skill that I missed out on when I was younger. It's hard to do it now. I didn't learn how to code. Because had I learned how to code, it was a totally different ballgame. And it's a skill that even if you're bano or you're just like mid, you're still going to be okay because you're a programmer. I'm not saying that everybody should be bano or whatnot, but if you're just like, okay, mid lang, steady lang, you're still going to have a solid life because the best of the best devs earn what? 300, 400, 500K pesos, right? Minsan, it's bigger pa if you go overseas. And they're not CEO levels. But if you look at the plantilla of every single company, I look at the top, the most expensive people all the time are devs, especially dev lead. You could have stayed that route. But Mike, you took the leap. Is it because of, again, the biyahe and whatnot that you had to go through in Bulacan? But what really pushed you to say, you know what, I'll write it out on my own. I'll create NBS.
Meron din kasi ako mga sarili kong prinsipyo na gusto kong nasusunod. Okay? When it comes to yung pag-engage sa client. Okay? At hindi ko yun magagawa kung ako ay employee. Kasi syempre kung anong sinabi ng boss ko,
yes, sir.
Most likely yun talaga ang masusunod, di ba?
Tama.
Kahit ayaw kong gawin. Okay? So that's one. And then another thing is talagang gusto ko nang ibalik yung investment, yung time. Okay? Kung dati ang yung full support ng aking family sa akin, kahit anong gawin ko, hindi ako matulog, ganyan, tanghali na akong magising, kakatrabaho. Gusto ko ibalik sa kanila na yung time ko sa kanila naman, sa yung time ko din sa sarili ko. Okay?
Totally agree.
Yes. And then bakit dito sa Bulacan? Kasi i-distribute naman natin yung traffic. Okay? So, may problem ngayon sila sa Manila, yung NCAP na yan, di ba?
Good luck.
Traffic na yan. So, wala kaming problema ngayon.
No coding pa. Oh, di ba? That's good.
Yes, walang coding.
Yeah, totally agree. And that's what you get as an entrepreneur. Obviously, there's trade-offs, right? As an entrepreneur, you trade off the sure sueldo. That's really nice. But what you potentially get is freedom to call your own shots and, you know, pursue your own dreams in your own way. And I totally agree with you because that's usually what you give out there. When you get paid a salary, they always say it's the biggest drug that will make you forget your dreams because somebody's paying you to build theirs, right? But if you really felt like you have what it takes, there's a saying, Mike, that they always say, okay, you traded a 9 to 6 job or 9 to 5 job to work 24/7.
Ganyan talaga nagsimula.
as a founder. Pero the freedom and the satisfaction of becoming an entrepreneur is bar none. Because especially the little things, if you see your startup grow, mahirap sa umpisa, it doesn't get easier. It gets harder over time. But the satisfaction that you build, it's there's nothing like it.
Yes, so hindi ko nga ma-imagine na kaya din pala, no? So, kasi dati ako nagda-doubt ako sa sarili ko, kaya ba dito sa Bulacan, sa North Sagaray, na remote area, natanaw mo na yung mga bundok? Okay? Even yung mga nakapaligid sa akin, hindi rin nila sure kung magtatagumpay ba. Pero eventually, after almost 10 years, so yung suffering namin ng first 3 to 5 years, okay, yung lahat ng mga problema na pinagdaanan namin. So ngayon, nakikita na namin na naghirapan kami noon sa simula, pero ngayon, established na, kaya na.
It's all worth it. I love it. Now let's take our first break, and when we come back, we will talk about the growth path and what was that like, obviously, with NBS. And of course, how did PLDT help you get? PLDT Enterprise help you guys out and all that. But let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey hustlers, ever feel like your money's flowing in, but your profits are nowhere to be seen? Is managing your cash a constant source of stress, leaving you anxious about day-to-day operations? Or maybe you're holding back on growth because you're unsure if your finances are really stable. The real problem? You don't have a clear picture of your finances. Without a strategic financial partner, you're basically operating in the dark, always one step away from hidden pitfalls. But what if you had a seasoned fractional CFO who understands these challenges and gives you clear and straightforward steps to increase profits and grow steadily without the cost of a full-time CFO? That's what One CFO delivers. One CFO combines the strategic thinking of experienced CFOs with their own cutting-edge CFO tech platform, giving you transparent, real-time insights that empower you to make smart moves. They're the go-to fractional CFO partner for growing companies like Quick Insure, Avion School, JLabs, Advance, OneLot, Colorette, and Stash, helping them conquer financial challenges and achieve remarkable growth. Imagine having a crystal clear view of your financial performance and the confidence to execute bold, growth-driving strategies. Ready to level up? Click the link in the description or go to onecfoph.co. That's onecfoph.co right now to book your free no-obligation consultation. Gain clarity in your finances and grow your business with confidence. Click the link or visit onecfoph.co today. Okay, guys, quick break to thank our sponsor, PLDT Enterprise. We're all about growth here, and if you're serious about scaling your business, you need the right partner. PLDT Enterprise is committed to your success, offering fixed, wireless, and ICT solutions for businesses of every size. So if you're ready to transform, check out pldtenterprise.com. That's pldtenterprise.com to explore their digital solutions for your business today. And we're back from the break. We are still with Michael. And we, again, just a super duper interesting origin story. I can't relate as a programmer, but I can relate so much into that leap to become an entrepreneur. But real talk, again, before we even talk about the journey to start out, you had a cheat code. You had a partner. You got this done very quickly. You wouldn't get this far if you didn't have a partner like PLDT Enterprise. Question, Mike, how did PLDT Enterprise really help you guys out?
Yeah, dahil sa PLDT Enterprise, tumaas ang productivity namin ng more than 15%. Tapos mas dumami yung mga clients namin at mas nabawasan yung oras namin para magtrabaho.
Galing. That's amazing, and that's what I really want to find out, because again, you're a tech guy, right? Majority of the tech guys will always think, you know what? Do we need to use this, or I'll just build it out on my own? But what made PLDT Enterprise the right partner to help you guys out?
Okay, yung zero downtime nung nag-switch kami to PLDT. Actually, addition ang PLDT. Okay. Sa aming internet connectivity. Zero downtime kasi naglagay talaga sila ng infrastructure just beside our office. Okay.
Wow.
So, ayun lang. So, walang dadaan na truck doon na makakasira or makikita namin eh. Okay.
I like it. So, is the infra spikes on the road na walang dadaan? Is that what it is?
Walang makakadaan kasi mataas kasi
okay. Just kidding.
Hindi ko to nabanggit kina Biel. After some time nakapag-put up kami ng sarili naming building.
Wow.
Okay, so 3-story building.
Galing.
Okay. So from dun sa napbox ni PLDT, so diretso sa third floor namin yung sa rooftop. So hindi yun masisira ng mga matataas na truck na dadaan. Kaya very okay yung pagka-install ng PLDT doon sa location namin.
Amazing. And imagine you're doing a production, you're pushing to production, and then you have downtime. Kagulos. Right.
Yes.
That's crazy. All right. So now I want to go back to the origin. So now you started NBS, right? And I just want to share a story. So I remember in Chatbot PH, I have 3 or 4 very, very promising devs that came from Bulacan. They studied in Bulsu. I didn't even know what Bulsu was before. And I was like, why are you so early? And they go, Ron, in order to get here at 9 a.m., we had to leave at around 4 or 5 a.m. daily.
That's true.
And get to that. And I was like, wow. I feel bad. They started out as interns and we absorbed them because, oh my God, these girls and guys are freaking amazing. As in, super galing. And they didn't know that. I didn't even know that talent existed out there. So now every time my fellow founders here is like, hey, Ron, where do you get your devs? Bro, don't go in Manila. Because you're in Manila, you got with the devs. First of all, you're going to be competing for such a small pool of devs. I would even argue that the developers in the provinces are better or at par. And you don't have to do that. And if you have a remote hybrid setup, you might even get them for cheap because they will love you if you're not going to make them travel 3 to 4 hours a day or 5 hours a day just to be able to work on your team. But this is a testament to the talent in Bulacan. I have seen it, I've built with it, and I have nothing but respect for Bulaqueño devs, and that's what you capitalize on. You tried to stay local, and you kept local, and you grew. But what was the first few foundational blocks? Because again, you're a dev. You can only dev so much on your own. You needed to build the team. You needed to build the talent pool. How did you build that initially?
Okay, it takes some time bago ako makahanap ng talagang makakasama sa pag-code. Kasi tama ka, hindi ko naman talaga kaya mag-isa.
Correct.
At saka meron lang akong certain expertise. Hindi ko kaya yung buong system.
Yeah.
Okay. Kaya kong magbigay ng advice, kaya kong mag-coach, kaya kong magsabi ano ang gagawin. Okay, pero yung lahat-lahat akong gagawa, yun hindi ko na kaya. Okay. So until one time, okay, meron akong nakausap na sabi ko mag-start tayo ng company. Okay, and then agad-agad nagsimula kami siguro after 1 month lang. So nag-start kami ng company, 2 lang kami. Okay. And then eventually, kailangan magdagdag. So, naging 3, naging 4. So, natapos na 1 taon, natapos ang project.
That's great.
Paano na?
Nga.
So, nga na. Wala na. Tapos na yung... Pero hindi pa kami... Fully paid na sila. Hindi pa kami nakaka-deliver. Yung pala masaklap doon.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. So, paano na? So, maghahanap ako ng trabaho. Naghanap ako ng trabaho, okay, para saan? Siyempre, para masustain ko yung family ko. At the same time, para masustain ko ang business.
Correct.
So, kasi nga, dev naman ako, kaya kong magtrabaho, makakuha ko ng trabaho na malaki ang sweldo, na kayang i-sustain both. Okay. Pero, hindi nangyari kasi itong aming unang client, si Miss Apple, okay, yung contact person namin doon. Okay, siya din yung project manager. Siya yung ka-brainstorm ko sa pagde-develop ng program. Okay. Nagtiwala siya sa akin. And then, nag-partner siya sa akin sa company. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, hindi ako natuloy magtrabaho. So, nasustain yung pangangailangan. And then, eventually, after mga 2 years, ganyan. So, nakakuha kami unti-unti ng client. Malilit lang. Then, eventually, medyo may mga ilang jackpot, makapag-deal kami ng malalaking account.
Nice.
Okay. So, yan. From there on, so, tuloy-tuloy na. And, yung pinaka-masayang part dito, na-top ko yung mga dati kong katrabaho na 3 years, 4 years na kami hindi magkakahiwalay. Kasi lumipat na rin sila ng ibang trabaho. Ako, nag-apot ako ng sarili kong business. So, natap ko pangalan nitong isa, si Jolan. Okay.
Shout out, Jolan.
Yes. Expertise niya ay sa programming din. Na-top up ko din si Jojo.
Jojo? Okay.
Yes.
Are these all J? Start with letter J?
Sila lang.
Just kidding.
Okay. And then, expertise naman ito talagang sa sales. Pagka nakapag-demo siya, kabahan na yung kalaban, di ba?
Patay.
Okay. Kasi kabisado niya yung system hindi lang siya basta sales. Okay. So, from there on, talagang nag-expand na yung business, dumami na yung client. And then kapag top up pa ulit ako ng ilan sa technical support and implementation naman, si Nino and then si Romel.
Wow. Amazing. And that's a beauty about working first. Because you also get to network and you get to meet people that you can be business partners with down the road. Because especially in a dev environment, in any tech environment, business is a team sport. I don't care how good you are, but if nobody's willing to work with you and you've not built a great reputation and people are not going to be willing to drop what they're doing, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to succeed because you're always going to be limited by your own success. And that's why it's another skill to be trustworthy and likable. Because imagine, you're magaling nga, and everybody hates you. Good luck.
Good luck, yes.
Up to you, diba? You're never gonna get far because again, you can get there fast, but you won't get far because you're always gonna need somebody's help to get there. Agree. Now, I want to understand this. As an entrepreneur, no matter how much we think we're ready, everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face. What were the hardest parts you remember, Mike, that you had to go through at the start na? Hala, I thought I was ready. And sometimes we call it NDEs, near-death experiences at the start. Na, hala, if we didn't go through this, it would have been game over.
Okay. Yung pinakamahirap actually dalawa yan eh. Yung isa, yung magdadagdag ako ng tao pero wala akong pampasweldo. Pag nagdagdag ka ng tao programmer, ano kailangan? Di laptop, di ba?
Yes.
Anong pambibili ko ng laptop? Kaya yung nagsisimula kami, bibili ako ng laptop na magkano ba bili ko? 13,000. Parang 3 laptop na yung nakuha ko.
Oh.
Oo. Talagang mga second hand na talaga.
Green Hills?
Basta gumana lang.
Sulit.com.ph, mga ganyan.
Oo, mga ganyan. Parang ngayon yata wala na yan eh, no?
Yeah. OLX and then NetDad. Sayang.
Oo, iba na. Oo.
No, Facebook Marketplace killed it daw. That's what killed it.
Tama. So, those are the days. And then, araw ng sweldo, no? So,
the most traumatic one, payroll.
Na-stress talaga ako dyan. Kasi kung example, June 15, sweldo na. O di mga June 13 o 10, ganyan, manghihiram na ako ng pera. Okay, manghihiram ako ng pera, pero makukuha ko siya last day, June 15.
Yep.
Okay, then process na agad. Di okay na, nakaraos na ako ng June 15. So, kinabukasan ng sweldo, ang problema ko na naman yung sweldo ng June 13, susunod na sweldo naman.
I
Okay.
know exactly how you feel. And that's why when people celebrate, yay, sweldo, I look at them with a blank face like, sweldo ka? But the biggest question, Mike, is how many payrolls did you have to deploy where you were not part of payroll?
Ay, ang dami. Okay, as in talaga nakalista. And yung mga pioneer ko mga employees, talagang meron dyan na talagang kalahati lang muna papasweldo natin ngayon, ha? Kasi hindi kaya eh. Okay. So, merong mga ganong instance pero eventually noong naka-recover na kami, so binayaran na lahat yung mga yun.
Oh, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. But I remember when I was running Chatbot PH, dev shops or programming companies is a game of accounts receivable. So, for example, in Chatbot, I would close, I don't know, 20 million, jackpot, right? But the tranches that you're going to do, you're probably get a 30%, 40% tranche down payment. Okay, great. You send the billing. If they're great and you do accreditation, you send the billing, you're okay. You get paid in a perfect world, less than 30 days.
Okay.
But 92% of businesses in the Philippines, Mike, do not pay on time. Payroll happens 15 or 30th, regardless if you got paid or not. So imagine every single client there like that. And it sucked because obviously, it is what it is. Pero shit flows downwards. So nobody gets paid. And unfortunately, the last holder of the bag is us because we need to pay our guys. And I remember being stressed out on this. I have 8 digits in account receivable. There was a client before I had. Took 1 year, bro. to freaking pay me.
Ay, grabe.
Grabe. And these are the biggest of the companies here in the Philippines.
Mm-mm.
Right? So imagine in my accounts receivable, man, if we just had this cash, I would be part of payroll.
Yes.
Everybody was there. Pero how did you bridge those? Aside from borrowing money, what were the entrepreneurial things that you had to do to make ends meet? Kasi you mentioned it, you're able to recover. What were those things you did right? Na even if people don't pay, pasok pa rin.
Okay, so yan na nga, talagang huli kami sa sweldo na talagang lagi ko nga naririnig, dapat kasi hindi ka na nag-resign sa dati mong trabaho. Mas malaki ang kinikita ko ron eh.
Yeah.
Pasok lang ako ng 8 to 5, araw-araw, 9 to 6, araw-araw. Susweldo ko ng quincenas
Sarap.
katapusan. Oo. Pero dito, talaga, ngayon, huli ako sa sweldo, yung nabanggit ko nga kanina, talagang may mga employees ako na pinapakiusapan na kalahati lang muna. Minsan nga yata, wala pang kalahati eh. Oo.
That's heartbreaking. I know how that feels. You don't want to do that to anyone, especially your employees.
Yes, so parang nakaka-down na hindi mo na alam kung anong gagawin mo. So parang yun yung darkest moment ng NBS. Araw-araw stress. Pati yung misis ko nadamay.
Nakaw. All right.
Kasama siya.
You didn't get subo na, no? She didn't give you the subo.
Bahala ka na.
All right, that's amazing. But I now understand. But this is where entrepreneurship becomes a game of chicken. Palakasan talaga ng loob.
Oo.
Right? Because there are gonna be days where every single sign about the business says that, yeah, you shouldn't have done this na. You should have just gone back to corporate or work there. Mm-hmm. But if you really believe yourself and it's irrational confidence, eventually it will pull through. And sometimes what it takes is a startup miracle. What's the most profound startup miracle where the jackpot or everything aligns? Where I always say it, in entrepreneurship, this is the normal path. So for those people who are considering, let's just say there are 10 days. Nine out of those 10 days are shit. Really dark. Pero that one day where everything aligns, my God, whatever that happened those 9 days, gone. Ang sarap. The most satisfying feeling. It's the most addictive feeling too. What was that startup miracle, Mike, that you remember happening that helped you guys out in the next phase?
Yeah, meron. Okay. Ito yung nung nakapag-close kami ng una naming pinakamalaking account. Okay. So sa Makati yan.
Yeah.
Okay. So Staff Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
So naging client namin yan. And then, pero medyo bitin pa rin eh. Okay. So eventually, siguro mga after ano lang to, within that year lang din, mga year 2020, ganyan. So Euratex naman, buong Pilipinas na close.
Oh my God!
So that's our biggest breakthrough.
Wow, ang galing. That's super good. Again, the Chengs, not easy to do because they're very Chinoy in how they build. It's very relationship built the way they did it.
Yes.
And the fact that you got Euratex, again, who doesn't know Euratex? Diba?
Yeah,
super
so
galing.
10 years na raw sila naghahanap. Sabi ko, naku, matagal na rin kami naghahanap.
Amazing. So again, all the stars aligned. Amazing. Really, really great job. But last question before we take our last break. Mike, I always hear it na the business is just a product of the founder's own evolution. Na your growth as a founder is directly parallel to how your business will grow. Because it starts and ends with you. What are the personal growth stories that you remember over this past 10 years and how you change over time, not just from being a dev to become a full-fledged entrepreneur?
Okay. So, naisip ko na as I go along dito sa business, itong business, hindi ito all about me. Okay? Hindi ito all about kung ano yung gusto ko, kung ano yung madali para sa akin. So, it's more on yung sa aking mga employees.
Yeah.
Paano ko ba sila maaalagaan? Paano ko ba mamimit yung mga expectation nila? Kasi in the end, mga employees, sila talaga yung nagtatrabaho. Sila talaga yung, kung wala sila, paano na? Okay, so kailangan nila ng trabaho pero kailangan din naman ng kahit anong kumpanya ng employees na mga mapagkakatiwalaan, maaasahan yan. Okay. So, kaya binabalance namin yon. Okay, kami sa management team. Binabalance namin yung ano ba yung goal ng company na dapat naka-align din sa kailangan ng mga employees. Kasi medyo mahirap ngayon kasi syempre ibang generation yung minamanage namin. Kasi kung sa top management lang kami, nagkakaintindihan kami kung ano yung gusto namin gawin. Trabaho tayo kahit hanggang anong oras, biyahe tayo kahit gaano kalayo. Pero with yung mga bagong generation, kailangan naming i-consider. Hindi namin pwedeng sabihin na, nung time namin, ganito kami, bakit kayo ganyan, hindi nyo kaya. Hindi pwede eh.
Yeah, you can't. You'll be the one to adjust.
Tama.
Yeah.
So, yun. Kaya marami ako natutunan for the past 10 years na papatakbo ng business.
No, totally. And you need to humble yourself. I can actually totally agree here. Before, Mike, I was more passion and emotion driven. Na hustle culture talaga, pure hustle culture. Like, blah, blah, blah. And with my peers, who are almost same age as me, some older than me, they get it. But they were raised the same way I was raised. These kids now who are in the workforce, Gen Y, soon enough, the Gen Alpha, they weren't raised like that, right? Yeah. They were raised, these are the people that were raised na they have a star or they have a participation medal because they participated. And if they go to the workplace, they expect that same mindset. So if you're not gonna adjust to that type of vibe, the best talent that's out there are not gonna fall into you, and you're gonna be lugi agad at the get-go because you have no choice. It's gonna be a pyramid. The more talents that will graduate every year are more of that archetype. I mean, not everybody's gonna be a fit. At the end of the day, your recruitment process needs to be good, but you need to be able to weed out the best of the best and still adapt to the type of culture and the type of upbringing that they were put on in order for you to harness the best environment. Because the last thing you want to be is to be called that, okay, boomer, Tito Mike, we won't follow you. You don't understand us.
Yes, so at saka syempre yung mga employees natin, ambassadors din ng mga ambassadors natin yan ng company, di ba? Kung ano yung sabihin nila sa company, malaking epekto nun sa company. Okay? Sa reputation, ganyan. Kasi syempre kung ano yung sabihin nila, yun yung narinig ng tao kahit naman hindi yun yung totoo. Pero paano mo naman ipagtatanggol yung sarili mo? Kaya talagang mahalaga.
Totally agree. All right, now let's take our last break, and when we come back, we will give it and pay it forward to those people. And I want to understand how are you adapting, Mike, into this age of AI that's coming through na, diba? Obviously, everybody's going there, whether you like it or not, right? Yes. We're going to get to that. And of course, how PLDT Enterprise helps you prepare for that immediate future. But let's talk about that more after the break.
Hey, hustlers, before we resume the episode, let me tell you a very quick secret. Do you guys ever wonder how we're able to consistently release episode after episode here in Hustle Share without missing a date over the past 3 years? Well, it's not just pure hustle, because I'm also running my podcast along with me running my startup full time. Now, for some of you who have listened to this podcast, you guys very well know that I created a startup that is designed to help the best podcasters in Southeast Asia to realize their full potential, which is called Podcast Network Asia. And over the past couple of years, we've achieved quite a lot in P&A, helping hundreds of podcasters create world-class episodes consistently. However, what we realize is that we are not really solving the real problem of all podcasters in the world if we're not going to productize the thing that we're very good at, which is helping podcasters solve the two main pain points of a podcaster, which is number one, nobody really likes to edit their own show. especially if you're listening to your own voice. Just like me, I cringe a lot. Having to listen to my voice for 3 to 4 hours just to release a 1-hour episode. It's no fun. And then the other thing is that most podcasters, just like me, are absolutely clueless on how to properly grow their show, which is something that we have perfected in Podcast Network Asia. So we've decided to put this all in one product that helps any podcaster in the world create world-class shows that people will love and will continuously grow. And that's why we created Podmachine. Podmachine is the most affordable podcast subscription service that helps you with your podcasting needs. We've got everything from audio production, crafting designs, and marketing and growth support. So as a podcaster, you can now just focus on the thing that matters the most, creating great content for your listeners. So if you are an existing podcaster or someone that actually wants to create their podcast now, no need to worry. You got a founder's discount by listening here on Hustle Share. So sign up now at podmachine.com. And aside from the free trial that you're going to get as a new user, I'm throwing in another one free edit as soon as you sign up for just as low as $49.99 USD a month to start creating a consistent and world-class podcast. Again, that's podmachine.com and use the code HustleShare to get your founder discount. So if you have friends that are podcasters and if you want to have a podcast just like this, y'all know what to do. So just go and talk to you guys in Podmachine.
And we're back from the break. We are still with Michael Santamaria. There you go. Well, amazing founder. And again, nothing but respect to you because it's so hard to build dev teams over in not that's not in Metro Manila. And when you compete there and you do well, again, it's already hard mode. It's like you do it double hard mode because at the end of the day, the Manila dev shops have a little bit of yabang to them. Now, oh, we're here, blah blah blah. But in reality, I would argue the provincial dev shops are even better. Like I know a few based in Cebu, based in Naga. There's the biggest POS startup here in the Philippines is based in Catbalogan, Samar.
Wow.
Diba? There's a few in CDO. So technology is the biggest barrier breaker, and the biggest technology provider that, again, enable you to do this is PLDT Enterprise. I want to zero in on talent, right? I talked in the second part earlier about the Bulakenyo talent, and this is pride of Norzagaray, Bulacan, right?
Yes.
What's your strategy in nurturing talent when and acquiring talent? We talked about it a little bit. Now, your employees are your own ambassadors, but not everybody is ready to participate. But those ones who are a perfect fit, how are you able to get them and nurture them to the point that they really maximize their tenure with you?
Okay. So, ang aming mga OJT, okay, mga nag-a-apply sa amin marami from Norzagaray College. Okay, so sabi mo kanina merong Bulacan State
Bulsu.
University in Bulsu. So that's Bulacan State University. Malapit lang din naman dito sa amin yan. Actually, there are two na Bulacan State University. Isa sa
Malolos.
Yung main sa Malolos and then isa sa San Jose del Monte. Ang malapit sa amin yung San Jose del Monte.
You know why they didn't get you didn't get the SJDM? The one from you know why you're not getting the ones from SJDM? Wala silang tubig eh. They can't take a bath.
Alam ko yan.
If they wanna go to office, mabaho sila. I'm sorry. Just kidding.
Okay. Okay. So, and talagang pagka kumuha kami ng talent, minimake sure namin na yung gusto sa amin magtrabaho. Kasi not everyone gusto sa probinsya magtrabaho. Yung iba talaga gusto na mag-explore.
Yeah.
sa Manila, Taguig, BGC, Quezon City, Makati, di ba? They want to explore the world, okay? So merong iilan na gusto nila yung malapit lang, walang traffic, masaya sila dito.
May
Okay.
tubig.
Yes, may tubig. Okay. So, and how do we nurture yung mga employees? Talaga, sumusunod kami sa kung ano ang mandate ng government. Okay. Ng DOLE. And then, dinadagdagan pa namin yan. Actually, one of the most memorable moment namin with the employees dito sa NBS, last year, itinreat namin sila ng outing
Yeah.
sa Boracay.
Wow.
All expense paid, 5 days.
Wow. That's the best feeling in the world. I can relate. It's been a while since during the pandemic. Actually, 6 years of Podcast Network Asia, my current startup. Our very first outing happened on our 5th anniversary. Not because we didn't want to, because during the pandemic, good luck naman. I'm not gonna say.
Tama.
I'm not gonna get people. Oh, guys, I don't care. There's no vaccine. Let's go. No, but the satisfaction of seeing the people you care about the most have so much fun. If it's exciting for the employees, it's triply more exciting and it's so satisfying when you're able to do that for your employees.
Yeah. So,
because, diba, it's like the testimony, like, you guys help us so much, get here, and you deserve it. And if we had more money, we'd do it every freaking quarter, right?
yes, oo.
Game agad, all expense paid, Anli Bagnit, with free losartan so that your high blood won't spike up. There you go. No, but it's really exciting. Now, I want to ask you, Mike, about this age of AI. Some people say, hala, AI is not a threat. Some people say, hala, it's going to take our jobs. I think the reality is somewhere in between, right? But in a dev shop like yours, how are you preparing for the age of AI? And how are you leveraging AI even? Because everybody wants an AI component in whatever they're doing now. How are you able to really compete in that front, considering that it's an arms race? It's a gold rush. Everybody is trying to build content or trying to build technology revolving AI one way or another.
AI, nung una kong narinig ang AI, lalo na napapanood ko sa mga movies, parang talagang mawawalan ng trabaho ang maraming tao dahil sa AI. Okay? So sabi ko parang ayoko ng AI. Tapos ngayon pagka tumawag ka sa mga papasupport ka, sa halip na tao makausap mo, unlike before, ang makausap mo ngayon, answering machine. Okay? So sabi ko parang ayoko ng AI. Kaya alam mo kung wala naman choice.
Correct.
Okay. So right now, ang AI ginagamit namin sa ibang hindi pa naka-integrate sa program namin. Okay? So mga employees namin required silang gumamit ng AI pagka nagko-compose sila ng mga complex na emails sa client, ganyan. Yan. Okay, and then meron din kaming ginagawa ngayon, hindi man namin ini-integrate ang AI sa system. Pero na-discover namin just recently na marami palang pwede, kasi dati Google lang tayo pagka magre-research, di ba? Anong dapat gawin, infrastructure, architecture ng application na i-develop. So ngayon pwede mo nang gawin yon, mag-consult ka with AI.
Yep.
Pero you just need to pay yung
premium
enterprise na yung pro.
Just $20 lang naman, $20-30, di ba?
Yeah.
That's
kasi
easy.
Iba yung sagot nung iba yung sagot nung parang grade 1 yung sagot nung hindi pa yan. Tapos college graduate pagka yung bayad ka, ganyan. Okay.
That's funny. No, but you know what? I also see a lot of my friends using AI. There's just two things that I really see. There's this thing called vibe coding or Copilot. Right? You don't know how to code, but if you just tell them what you're trying to build, the whole AI is ChatGPT is gonna write the code for you, right? Instead of writing every single line and making all these bugs in one line you made an error pala, and then boom, the whole thing fails. You can do that. But the other thing that I think, especially in a dev shop, really, really useful, I'm pretty sure you're gonna do this soon, is on unit tests. and QA.
Hmm.
Diba? Because that's the most fallible thing, and it requires human. Good luck trying to do QA there, diba? Line after line, blah, blah, blah. But if
Okay.
you use it for unit tests and QA, right on the spot, as you're writing the code, you can actually know if this is gonna cause a bug or not. Diba? So,
Ang galing,
very
oo.
exciting, right? And
So
that
yun yung
costs you
nire-research
nothing.
ngayon ng isa kong tao na si Jolan. So all about AI. Kasi nagde-develop din kami ng HRIS version 2. Coming up
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, very good. So,
Oo.
last question. Hindsight is always being 2020. Now, you don't know what's gonna happen ahead of you. There's no clarity there because you're just gonna have to live through that. But knowing what you know now, Mike, if you're gonna give yourself an advice, right on that time that you just quit your job, knowing what you know now, if I'm gonna lend you the time machine ulit,
Mm-mm.
say, hey Mike, here you have the ability to have a butterfly effect. Talk to yourself from the past. What would be your advice, knowing what you know now? Considering that time where you weren't sure what this would look like, what it would be. You just quit your job, and you want to become an entrepreneur. What would be your advice to yourself?
Ang advice ko ay the same pa rin kasi nakaya mo yan na kung plano mong magsimula ng sarili mong business, kailangan mo na simulan agad kasi anong edad mo na rin, di ba? Okay. So, nakakayanin mo yan na meron kang mga pagdadaanan na challenges na kailangan mo talagang pagdaanan. Part yun eh. Ano ba namang business ang hindi mahirap sa simula? Lahat daw talaga ng business mahirap sa simula eh.
Yes.
So, and then yung fruit, ma-harvest mo later. Okay. So, kaya ang i-advise ko ay same pa din.
You can do it. Kaya mo yan. Again,
Yes.
Thanks so much. Such an amazing episode, Mike. Super duper exciting. But before I let you go, again, invite people over. What's next for you guys in NBS? And again, if a lot of the people that are listening through this want to capitalize on PLDT Enterprises ROI to success so that they can ROI as well in their investment, similar to what you did, where do they go and how do they do that?
Okay. So, sa ngayon, tuloy-tuloy lang kami doon sa ginagawa namin. Okay. Meron kami mga plans for the future na mag-enhance ng aming technologies para makasabay sa trend na kung anong meron na ngayon. Okay. And then, how do we capitalize sa PLDT Enterprise? Kailangan namin i-maximize kung ano yung ino-offer ng PLDT. Dahil without itong internet connectivity, ay hindi kami talaga makapagtatrabaho.
Wala. Your code will be stuck in Norzagaray.
Yes, so...
Okay. Sounds amazing. Sounds good. Again, thank you very much, Mike. But before I let you go, follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to, whether Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. And if we did say some jargon, it's going to be the show notes on hustleshare.com. And big shout out again to our premium supporters like PLDT Enterprise that allow HustleShare to do content like this. And if you want to support like them like us, I mean like them, us like them like us. Basta yun. If you want to support us, you can go to premium, the hustleshare.com. Again, Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ron.
All right.
And
good luck.
thanks,
And I'm rooting
everyone.
for you. Thanks so much. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.